Okay. Right, let's just see if I can get the chat set up. Bear with me. And check the... Just bear with me 1 sec. Right, how's that sounding? Just bear with me 1 sec. That sounds pretty good. Right, how's that sounding? Just bear with me 1 sec. Sounds good. Thanks, Nick. How are you doing? Okay, this looks fine. Alright. So I've had to slightly change my setup because I need to use my phone. And that's usually what I do the chat on. But that looks okay. Alright. Good. And alright, yeah, that looks okay. Let me just see if this lighting changes it. Just put a bit of lighting on here. Hang on. Let me just try and get this text. Right, that looks better like that. All good our end. Declan was the only person in his grade to ace his science exam today. Well done, Declan. That is fantastic. Ah, that's really good. Well done. What sort of science do you like the most, Declan? Is it biology or chemistry? Maybe physics. Chip off the old block, eh, Nick? I mean, he may not be there. Got some dice action today. Okay, just for the benefit of the vlog, because we're going to need a little bit more time before we start getting into the main meat of the stream today. I'm going to basically go over the postage situation for 2D6, and then we're going to have a little play test of Intergalactic Space Trader. And basically I'm going to talk you through, firstly, my reasons for creating this game, and then we're just going to go through it. And it's currently 3 kind of little manuals. I'm going to have different formats for these as well, so people who might struggle to print this out, there'll be some other formats. But it's really kind of designed to go into the back pocket, and you can do it anywhere you like, really. That's kind of my thinking behind what this is going to be. Ron the Sage, welcome from the shores of Lake Erie in New York State. Wow, I would love to visit. And Nick says chemistry is his favourite. Chemical reactions. I remember being younger, and those chemical reactions, they were my favourite as well. Cheers, guys, by the way. Hope everybody's okay. It has been absolutely manic here. We have been posting out loads of stuff. We've got... we're working through... Hey, John, how you doing? Prestige P, how are you doing? Ebbit, glad I could catch this. Loving 2D6 so far. Superb, excellent. And Prestige says, ready to go into space. Ready to get lost in space. Fantastic. Todd, salutations from PNW. PNW. I'm useless with those. Where is that? I should know. Wade, cheers to you. To greetings, Mark. Hey guys, good to see you. Yeah, we've got. We're going to be looking at the Intergalactic Space Trader today. It's a game I've been kind of working on, tinkering here and there around the monster that is 2d6, which I love. It's just keeps on giving. It doesn't stop giving. Pacific Northwest. There you go. Now Todd, well I remember, has set up the oh my god, what's it called again? See, this is how bad I am, Todd, with stuff like this. The Discord. I didn't have to actually look it up. So we now have a Discord channel thanks to Todd. And yeah, I know. Now we were going to rope you into some admin work as well, Nick, by the way. So we've got the seed has been sowed, and it's going to take a while for it to kind of grow and emerge, but I know Todd's going to put the link on now, which is going to be very handy. And in fact, it'd be really cool, Todd, if you could email it to me as well. Excellent. Is there a timeline for the Legendary Dungeons expansion, Ebbit? Are you planning to do a Kickstarter for it as well? That'll be next year, Ebbit. So the Legendary Dungeon needs to be sit in the context of the game being the dungeon level is the dungeon game is complete, but we need the Overland expansion, which is the next one, which is coming in hopefully in a couple of months. We're going to get the Kickstarter going, and we need that whole thing before we do the Legendary, because the Legendary is going to affect how we view the Overland expansion. Ithaca Spain Scott, how are you doing? Good to see you. Andy, good to see you. Got my tutor stuff. Can't wait to get stuck in. Andy, thank you for letting us know. So yes, so it's going to be next year, but the Legendary one is going to take a lot of fine tuning. That is going to be really, I'm going to really have to sort of nail that. But it is there. It's definitely there, and excited to do it as well. It's going to be magical and mythical and monstrous and kind of godlike. You know, you're going to be touching on superpowers, but not. It's going to be based within the fantasy setting that we have. So it's not going to go stupid, but it's going to be amazing. Yeah, Overland is going to be... It's called 2d6 Realm. It was 2d6 Kingdom, but it's now 2d6 Realm as I've been developing it. It's going to be another couple of weeks before it's test worthy, and then that's going to go out to some of my core guys to test. People like Nick and Jeff and Todd, and we will have a look at how that progresses. But this week has been crazy, and I want to just quickly update before we move on to Intergalactic Space Trader. I have been sending out all the as many as I can, as far as everything, all the late pledges. So what we hadn't realised was the late pledges have got, there's so many now. I mean, a lot of them are sent, and a lot of you have been receiving them, but there's still a few we're working through. Now, some of those do include the foe, obviously, so those haven't been sent. The foe has been slightly stuttered because we reflected on the postage situation, and we wanted to make sure these beautiful books, because when we had the book in hand, we were like, hang on a minute, we use recyclable cardboard bubble wrap, basically, and it's kind of it pads it out, it grips, and it holds it together, and it's been really successful. But what we've been thinking is with the leather, it's much more sensitive, and we had and we think with this, we're going to need to use proper bubble wrap and break with our policy to just using paper packaging, which is a bit of a shame. We didn't want to have to do that, but we've experimented a little bit, and now we're using 3 wrappings of bubble wrap around the faux leathers so that they are fully protected. And looking at the list, there are some big guys who are backed from the beginning that haven't got their books yet. We want to make sure when they get them, they're in good nick. And it's like people like Brian Moore, who are backed from the beginning and are stalwart supporters, haven't got their stuff yet. And we want to make sure it goes properly. And I'm desperate to get that out. So it is... because things... what we found is when people have added stuff on, they've been kind of shunted a little bit into another pathway because we've had to then come in and adjust it. But safe to say, we've got another big batch going out tomorrow. It's the first wave of faux leathers, and then we will have it all sent out by the end of next week. So it is just a question with these things to take our time on this front, because we want to make sure these expensive books go out well. You know, have all the non-faux leather regular pledges gone out? Yes, they have. ITEA, unless someone's added stuff like the layers expansion and then it's been delayed a little bit. There's a little bit of overlap. We have sent out over 1,000 parcels across the world, and it's safe to say the admin has meant that people have added some things, and it knocks them back a little bit from that. So we then go in and add it, and then because it's about the admin. It's a bit difficult to explain, but put it this way: first wave of faux tomorrow, and then it will proceed over the next couple of days. We'll get all of them out. So that's where we're at. We just want to make sure we do this properly, and so we had to order in a massive roll of bubble wrap, and that's taken an extra few days to get to us. We could have ordered some little rolls from, say, Argos, a kind of like catalogue company around the corner, but there's little point. We've had to all go to, because it just wouldn't have lasted, and it's stupidly expensive for like about a meter's worth. So we've had to order from our usual packaging suppliers, and it takes 3 days to come. So it has knocked the faux leather back just a few days, but we want to make sure that these are well protected when they go out. So that's kind of where we're at. So it's going to be terrible if people get their faux and they're damaged. It's terrible anyway, with any of the products are damaged. But when you're paying premium price for the premium product, we've got to doubly sure. So we're just making, just as I keep saying. So that's where we're at. Come the end of next week, including all the other late pledges as well, they'll all be gone. And we're getting loads a week, so they all kind of clock on. We're on to our second printing of the layer. So we ordered hundreds to begin with, and we just didn't anticipate. So we've got the second printing of the layer coming on Monday. So that's another big thing. And we've got, most people have got it, but we've had to order more. So Andy, thank you. Well done, Toby and Joe. You must be fed up looking at cardboard and brown tape. Well, Andy, yeah, I mean, we are, but I'm lucky because a lot of the stuff I do is cerebral, and I'm kind of sitting here at a computer all day. For me to then go and do a couple of hours packaging is actually not as bad as it sounds. Or we've done a couple of full days, as you can imagine. But it's a nice mix of things. So it is largely me packing it up, me and Joe doing it. So it is difficult. My son's helping out a bit with stuff, like placing the cards in and stuff. Clive, thank you. How you doing, my friend? Thank you for all the effort. I know I added to the admin by adding extras a few times. Now that's another thing as well. You can add extras as much as you like. We love you. We love you, Clive. You're like one of the top guys in the house. The thing is, we've ended up sending out packages to people a couple of times. I think it's a certain inevitability about this. It was going to happen. So some people have received 2 packages. Some of the testers didn't receive their reward for testing. So we sent that out separately. And I think there are some special people that may well have received 3 packages, which isn't very economical, but we want to make sure people get their stuff, you know. Elite on the Atari ST was one of the first games I played, so should be interesting. Got my 2D6 books the other day, looking forward to having a game soon. Excellent, Phil. Hope you're well, my friend. Oh, spare time. You should be working on Radzone. Steve, good to see you, my friend. Well, hopefully you'll like this as well. I don't know what spare time is, to be honest. I don't have spare time. I just have time in which I create things in, and then it all comes into the business. So, you know, what can I say? Sadly not here. Just one copy. Oh, Prestige. I'm sure it won't be long, my friend. Were you a late backer? Etai, no worries. Israel's postal system rolls at Nat 1 on everything. Oh, Natural 1. Get you. Can't wait to get my bits. They'll be on the way. Don't worry. They are. We do find, actually, with Israel that customs seems to hold it anyway. So maybe 3 or 4 weeks sometimes. So, oh God, I hope it's not the case. But we have had a problem. Got my copy. Just no bonus copies. Oh! That's these. I know. There's one. Oh, I have to tell you this. One of our backers who's bought a lot of games from us. He's a great guy. He ordered the Lair separately as an add-on later on, and we sent it out. He's in England, and the address below where his name is alphabetically is New Zealand, and so it was accidentally, the New Zealand address was accidentally pasted into his address. Anyway, you can imagine, but that's the only time that's happened. Most people have got their stuff. Listen, this is over 1,000 packages, and there's only been like 1 or 2 issues, so there's a really high chance. There's been a few cases where the postal service have got packages completely drenched. I'm thinking, what is going on with people? Why can't they just look after these packages? I don't know. Just got 2D6 Dungeon onto my table. Heroic Logic. What a great name. Nick, I ordered everything. Sadly, this means it takes the longest to be shipped. Lol, yes. Nick, you've got a very special pack coming over, mate. Lone Adventurer. Evening, missed pretty much the whole stream, but loving the spaceship design there. Makes me think of Northern Boy Illustrations. His art features in RPG supplements coming to... Yes. Yes. These are inspired by Northern Boy. I have one of his prints on the wall there. So I have to admit, I drew these little ships. I've enjoyed your videos. Yes, yeah. Really good, Paul. I love your videos. And everybody else here, make sure you check out Lone Adventurer. They're linked on the Facebook page. He's done 4 videos for 2D6 Dungeon. And they are fantastic. So, and really sound grip on the rules. Forgets to do experience points, but I think that's important to see because everybody does it, and it's like one of those things you've got to go back to and remind yourself to do. But very soothing voice, comprehensively done. These are really good. Like Scott's videos, Ithacus Bane, really cool. Check those out, guys. When I started looking at the PDF tables, I decided I'd wait until I got my physicals to read the rules. Just got it to the table last night and loved it. Ebbit. Paul says, bloody XP, Lone Adventurer. One sec. I've had a bit of a cold today. No one wants to see me blow my nose on TV. All right, good. So, right, that's all done. Let's have a look at this. So, this is, as I was saying, a game that I've been working on just here and there. It's like a hobby. Designing games for me is like a hobby, and I love doing it. And the way it starts, well, good question, Phil. Will IST be another Kickstarter? At the moment, no. So the base game is going to go free onto itch.io. Now, there's a number of reasons for this. It's only going to be the print and play version on itch.io, so you can download the PDF. There will be instructions about how to print it. I wish I could also claim and collect, be as calm and collected as Lone Adventurer. Scott, it wouldn't be the same if it was. It's different strokes for different folks, isn't it? You know. Just curious, did you ever consider putting the tables in a spiral book to make it a little easier to flip through? Well, Ebbit, I find flipping through spiral is harder than flipping through a true bind, because with the true bind it kicks back the way it was. That's why we did it that way. With a spiral, it's easy. Spirals are there to lay out. Whereas with these tables, I always want you to flick through it, read it, and then put it back. That's kind of my theory. That may not be how everybody does it, but that's how I see it happening. And that's why we did it that way. But with the next campaign, we are going to offer a spiral bound option so people can pick that. And we will see how many people want that one and how many people want the true spine, the true bind, the true, whatever they call it. In any case, so that will be there. Yeah. Well, because you're tucking it away because you've got a map there, you don't want to have anything necessarily laid out next to it. It's kind of like I don't know. It's been interesting. People play these things different ways. But in any case, I've lost my track a little bit there. That's fine. This won't be Kickstarter. itch.io, because I want to increase my presence on itch.io. I see it as potentially in the future the biggest downloading platform for games of this type. I know it does computer games, but I think that these days print and play are increasingly having connections with games, computer games, and traditional games, and traditional computer games. And I think it makes sense. So it will be free on itch.io. If you don't follow me on itch.io, go in, look up DR Games, and you will see me there. Just follow, and you'll get alerts for when this goes live, which will hopefully be in a couple of weeks. So there will be ship manual expansions that you can buy on itch.io, and I'll explain more about that as we go. So there is going to be a way for me to earn a little bit of money out of this game, but also in the future, I'm also considering that this could be a Kickstarter somewhere down the line, but it would be for kind of like for these books produced in a nice bind, say for example. So it won't be to necessarily as a development Kickstarter. It will be something that just provides a better finished product for Intergalactic Space Trader if, when it goes out there, people are interested in the product. So that's kind of where we're at. Thank you, David, for extraordinary extreme efforts on this project. Thank you, Joseph. I'm happy to be here for the first time to see your live stream. Joseph, I'm happy that you're here, my friend. To see the live stream and learn a bit more about this next little game that we've got going. So, that aside, Intergalactic Space Trader IST for short is based on my experiences as a teenager playing Elite. Now it's a more Elite Frontier, or Frontier Elite, however you want to call it, which was the follow-up game on the Amiga, and it was very much about just trading. You know, you had your spaceship, you could upgrade your spaceship. There was a bit of combat maybe as you fly into a planet. You get in, you make your profit, and then you save enough, and then you buy a bigger ship. And it's always about that bigger ship, getting to the next level. Okay. Now, Vortac Vic, how you doing? Toby, yes. Love seeing this new game, and I'm excited. Good. And I just loved that game, and I thought I would love to be able to make a game where procedurally generated open world space system that would be random to a large extent. I mean, there's going to be fixed assets, but this puts you in a spaceship, flies you to a planet. You don't know what planet. It's not preset. You generate it. The goods are generated. The trade goods, the prices of the trade goods are generated based upon some kind of core values, and then you can fly to another planet and encounter some different bits and pieces. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play through this first planet, maybe the second planet, and we'll just see how that works. Now, I've tested elements of this game, but I've never done it all together. So it's going to be interesting to see whether this works. I will probably be making notes on these little printed manuals. These are A6 manuals that I've printed out. As we go, if I see there's an error, and you've got to be aware, this is raw, this is fresh, so there are going to potentially be errors or things I need to correct as we move through the game. So we're just going to have to see how it plays. Oh, let me just, that is interesting. See if anybody else can find, maybe it's Toby Lancaster. Maybe look up Toby Lancaster. That is the mission. Who can find me on itch.io? Blimey. I almost missed your live stream today because I was so involved in Planet Duty 6. Excellent. Buddha. Good to see you. Reminds me of the white box manuals, the way they look. Yeah, they kind of do a bit, don't they, weirdly? I hadn't intended that to be that way. But I guess this is just a basic setup. This isn't how they necessarily look. I think I'd have to try and make them a bit more kind of I don't know. I'm a bit unsure about the art style. I've got some images by an artist. I can't remember his name. Who I'm going to use. I win. Johnny, good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Hi everybody, I missed the beginning. Are you going to play through the new game today? Yes, I am. Yep. Cold allowing. I might duck off the screen every now and again to blow my nose. It's kind of awkward, but I do apologise. Right. So let's do this. So I'm thinking as I design a game, I want to try. I almost missed two, but I'm here now. Daniel, good to see you. Good to see you. Did someone put it on there? Someone found the link to my itch.io channel. That is the challenge. Link it. Will it link? It might not link. I think only Nick might be able to. Daniel, he's got his package. Excellent. Good stuff. It may be that you can't link it in. It should be. I see there are games and hang on a minute. Hang on. This is annoying. I'm going to check. Well, let me type it in there. I think it's D. Hang on, bear with me, and we'll get the game going in a sec. D-R-games. I wonder whether the other one wasn't available. .itch.io. I think it's something like that. Something like that. Put it on there. Right. Oh, did it post, Vic? It may not have posted because it may be that doesn't allow. Yeah, look at that's a good idea. What a clever guy. Vic's right. Look up 2D6 Dungeon. The demo's on there. I haven't put the live game on yet. The full game. Right, enough procrastinating. Let's move on. So, we have. We're going to start with this one here. Right. Okay. So. So let me just get the screen up here. Right. This is the Trade Planets Index. Introduction. Bear in mind this can be changed. I'm going to go through it, so you've got to sort of bear with me while I kind of explain. These books are designed. You start with the Planets Index. You then go to the ship's manual, and then you do the planet guide, and they explain how to do it as you go along. There is a planet sheet for each planet you encounter here, and you have a log of these, and this is how it goes. So there are thousands of planets in the Intergalactic Trade Network, or the ITN. ITN, anybody get that reference? They have all signed up to the trade agreement, pay a tax to help maintain the network, and have a system gate installed in their star system. These are your destination planets, worlds you have never visited before, home to spaceports where you will trade your goods. Your Trade Planets Index is a log of all the planets you have scanned to receive preliminary data. This is all the information that you can establish before you arrive at the planet. When you scan a planet on the ITN, you receive a range of information which will help you decide if it's the world you want to sell your goods at. If it is, you arrive at the system through a system gate. You must fly to the planet, open up a new planet guide, and establish. Although that's changed because it's planet sheet. And establish further details about it and the price of its goods. Begin by scanning 5 worlds and select one to be your first off-world that you visit. You start with 200 credits and 2 flume cells, which we will come back to in a minute. Okay. Oh, that is weird. Should be another designer. Let me just check that. Oh, well. Thank you for the follows, guys. Seems to be okay. Right, so we are basically a freighter. We're going to be gathering the following information when scanning a planet on the ITN. You can see this is here just to help you when you're doing it. Each is called a stat, and generated randomly by picking an option from the listed tables below. Okay, so we've got each planet has a planet name, people, technology, geography, environment, instability level, and activity level. Flume cells, yes, I'll come back to those. They power your engines. Okay, so a flume cell powers your conduit drive. Okay, that's just, there's a little bit of tech, but it's not much. it's something different. They're called flume cells. Okay, they're like something you slot in, it powers your drive, and then you can go to the next planet. You need a flume cell to go through the system gate. Okay, they're kind of connected. So these are the different technologies. Okay, so we are going to be filling in we have an index at the back here, and we're going to be filling in. We're going to do some planets here. We're going to generate the planets. Okay, so we're at our home world. We've got 200 credits. We've got no cargo at the moment, but we have 2 flume cells, so we can fly there once and we can fly to another planet. So it gives you enough to do 2 trips. So you need one flume cell per trip. But we're gonna generate a couple of planets just to get this going, and then we're gonna go to one of these planets and we're gonna purchase some goods. I'm just gonna see how that works. All right. So we're gonna generate a name. So the planet name. So another point about this game is you can play it without dice. I wanted to design a game where you didn't have to have dice. Now I do have dice, and it's going to be very handy to have dice. Although I don't have a 12-sided there. So some polyhedral dice, like that there, and we're going to have we're going to use the dice. But you can, if you wanted to, if you were in a location, you could close your eyes, and you'd pick one. Close your eyes, and you'd pick one. Okay, and you could do it that way. So if you were just anywhere at any time, grab out your books. This is the theory. This is what I was thinking. Whether that's actually what would happen, I don't know. But I thought it might be quite a nice thing to be able to do. Prestige, D12 is the king of dice. That's what they say. That's what they say. I like all dice. I'm a big D6 fan, to be honest. So we're gonna generate a planet name. Roll on this table at least twice. So we've got 5 and 8, 18, which is KA. So we're going to put that in here, KA, and then we're going to have 9 and 19, which is Caxo. Okay. I'm glad it didn't come up with anything really rude or anything like that. Caxo. I quite like that. And then Caxians. There. Right, so then we're going to generate a technology level. I'm kind of just, you just follow it page after page. So we've got 2 D12 here. 9 and 4. So 9 and 4. It's a standard technology planet. Actually, maybe I should write in capitals because it might be more readable. Geography. Let's go to what type of world are we looking at here. You can see we've got these different tables. 12 and 12, 2 12s, 4 and 10, 4, 10. T is terrestrial. Oh, I was going to write it in capitals, wasn't I? I just wrote terrestrial. These will have an effect on how we move forward. We're going to use these stats. Environmental. We've got there the environmental stats. Again, 2D12, 10 and 11. So 10, 11. SW, stable weather. This is a very standard planet. Instability level. Now, this has a instability level and activity level. So you can see here, this one is slightly different because we have arrows. I don't know whether you can see this. Arrows on this thing. And now that indicates, this means the number goes down or up depending on the arrow the second time you visit the world and stays this new total. Browser was being weird apparently because of an update. I think I can stick around now. Excellent, James. Good to see you. Love randomization tables. Wouldn't be a DR game without them. Exactly. Ike 2D Infinity? What is that symbol? It's okay. At least you're not one of those 4D4 people. I have a ton of D12s now. Had to put in a bulk order thanks to Rain in Hell game in the day. So we've got instability. Let's do this. 2 10s for this one. 6 and 6. So we've got 2. Instability 2. And then activity 6 and 8 is 1. Okay. There we go. So that is the first planet. And we'll grab a random colour. Grab some random colours here. Put a bit of on the planet. There we go. We have a little world here. So already we have ourselves a little planet. Terrestrial. So it's Caxian's technology is standard. Terrestrial, climate, weather. So it's a kind of a nice mix of different habitable environments. Stable weather and instability 2 and activity is 1. So that is a pretty sound planet. Let's do another one. I've got some dice, John. Excellent. Right, let's do one more, and then we'll go to one of these planets. So let's go back to the planet naming table and roll up 11 and 3 AST and 11 and 12 and 12 and 5 Astwosi. Astwosians. Let's go for technology level here. We've got 2 12s, 8 and 5. It's a standard. We'll go with we'll mix it up. We'll just say advanced, just because we're testing out these different things. Geography. Let's do something other than stable. 2 12s, 2 and 10 is a desert. Excellent. Environment. 2 12s, 7 and 6. ET. Extreme temperature. And instability level 2 10s. Let's do this. 5 and 0. 10, so it's 3. Ooh. And then activity again is 10 and 6 is 2. I just didn't do that last one right, but it's okay. So we've got a quite a different world that my scanners have picked up. So we've got a barren kind of sand world, a bit like in Dune. Much more sandy going on there. Okay, so we've got 2 worlds. So that's the system. So you would generate 5 worlds to begin with, and then pick one to go to. And now we are going to go to Caxo. Jawas. It has to be Jawas. Todd. Excellent. And we're going to go to the first world we generate. It is a standard world, and then we'll probably go to the second one just to experience a different extreme. So that is our planet index. So we then go to our ship's manual. Here now, we've got the worlds. Your manual details your ship stats and your personal stats, as which we'll put in here. Your captain's log, so to speak. You have a base freighter in the TIC F6A. This is the ship here, TIC F6A, and that is a small freighter. Okay, a small ship which is viewed as a good starting model. It is reliable and has 3 upgrade slots. Upgrades can be bought at spaceports. Opportunities for which are detailed in the planet guide, which we will come to. You can also keep track of your trade goods in your cargo hold. The TIC F6A also comes fitted with standard asteroid mining equipment, which all freighter ships do. This manual is used when you enter a star system. You will scan the new sector and navigate to the spaceport. Whenever you enter a star system, even if you've been there before, you will still be required to complete an entering the star system table, which we will get to. But first, let's have a little look at the list of things here. We have the class, which is the name of the ship there. We've got hold capacity, which is 100. Again, these initial stats are probably going to change as we test it. Fuel capacity is 120. This actually is something that is part of the game. You'll see how we use the fuel. Handling 8. Mining drill 3. That is how many points of damage it can take. Shield, security, and value. So shielding's 1, security's 2. It's all pretty low because this is your starting ship. Its value is 30,000 now. We've got a question mark on that, whether that may change. We'll just have to see as we play. Down the bottom here, we have the damage chart for the ship upgrades. And that correlates to here. It probably should be clearer. I'm just going to connect it to that here. And you've got 3 spaces basically, and we'll see where we can get hold of the upgrades for these particular parts of the ship. All right. Then we have the captain's log. I'm just going to put Toby in there. Reputation points at the moment are 0. Barter points are 0. Pilot points are 0. Okay, you start with, these are basically pools which you can take from for certain activities. We have 200 credits, and in the ship's locker we have 2 flume cells there down the bottom. The cargo hold is the type, is where we Javier, how are you doing? Good to see you. The cargo hold is where we write down what stock, what trade goods we have picked up. Okay, so we are journeying to Caxo. I'm going to put Caxo here. Real life dates. Hey Brian, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. I know that you haven't had your pack yet, but it is on the way. We've obviously had to. We're packing it all up at the moment, but because we've added extra stuff in, it's taking a bit longer. But you will get your pack soon, my friend. Do not worry. So in real life, the date is the 28th of September, 23. This is just to give you a bit of context. Current fuel is 120. This is the entering a star system page. Okay, there are a number of these at the back of this manual. So when you enter them, you have to fill out one of these each time. Okay, and then this one's separate because it gives you it's the first one that you do, and it then has a series of tables, if you like, that establish what you might encounter. Okay, so establish the location of the planet on the outer curve by rolling on the planet location table. Draw it in. So planet location table is a 4 and a 12. So we're going to use an 8-sided die and a 12-sided die. So 9, that was 9, and a 6, 9 and a 6, sorry, 9 and 6, so that is a 3. It's position 2, so we're going to draw it in here. That is the planet, and there will be a example of where the planet is. Now, place blips, flume sails. Lol, I can't remember the game movies, but I pictured these golden forward sails out of the ship when you jump to a planet. There was an episode of Deep Space Nine where they find this old ship, or he makes an old ship, an exact replica, Cisco and Jake, and they reenact this first light speed ship. And these golden sails fold out. That's one TV show that has golden sails. Place the blips by generating local coordinates on the radar coordinates table. Planet activity levels indicates the number of blips. Draw them in. So, radar coordinates. So we need to place one blip in amongst these images here. This is the radar coordinates here. So 12 and 12. So we've got a 10 and a 10. So 10, D, 6D is there. Okay, so with any that's probably what it was. Ebbit says, yeah, it may well be. It's a good episode. So as you can see, planet activity places blips on the radar. My journey to this world is going to take you. This is your start point here. We can put start in here. Start. And for every navigate from below H row through the spaces to reach the planets, spending 5 fuel for vertical movement and 10 for horizontal movement. Color as you move. So I just need to get to this square here from this location. Now, if the space you pass through is connected to one of the blips, you must encounter it. Roll on the blip table. So, as it turns out, I don't have to do that. So I'm just going to go vertical. I'm going to colour these in here. And I can get to the planet without encountering this blip. Now, if there's a blip there, say for example, I'd have to go up and then sideways past it and then up like that. Or if there was maybe 2 blips, I might need to go all the way around this area. A blimp? Did I say blimp or blip? It should be blip. Blips. A blimp? Isn't a blimp? Isn't that a large airship? A blimp? Isn't it a blip? Have I put it down there? That's a good spot. Bottom sentence. There you go. It just didn't pick it up. Any case, this is a... Okay. Thanks, Ike. So you can see here, this is safe passage. So that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So you take 35 from your fuel here. So a safe journey, but we're going to do an example of a blip. So 35, so 85 fuel left. And to be honest, I've got to work fuel into the shop. So we'll put that in here. Hang on. Got to put that in there. I forgot to add fuel to the shipyard. While I'm thinking about it, I shall do it. There. Okay. But if, say, it probably does. I will take them all out. Just there. There we go. I don't know why that's gone in there. The good spot, thank you. So if I did encounter a blip, you go to here. When blips when encountered can reveal one of 6 features. So that blip, it's a bit like, you know, in Space Hulk, when you send out the blips and the Space Marines encounter them and it reveals what it is. It's a revelation, a reveal. If you go into a square that is connected to one of the blips, you have to encounter it. Now, you may choose to encounter it. We're going to do an example in this particular occasion. So there are 6 types of blip, and we are going to do a version here. So 5 and 4. 5 and 4 SP Space Pirates. Again, something that you may well encounter in Elite. We would then go to Space Pirates here, and we would then roll on the table here to see exactly what the encounter was. And you can have attack on shielding, boarded, ignores you, overwhelmed, surrender, torpedo strike. Now you can mitigate some of these actions by spending pilot points, and that is detailed in here. It will damage upgrades, and it will also potentially mean you lose cargo. All right. Are meant to write in, but I struggle with writing in my booklets. I definitely never write in booklets or even dog-eared pages. I get chills thinking about watching it. Well, you're not... Yes, yeah, you're right. This one you do write in these booklets. This is your like your manual. This is kind of like this particular one is it's like Fighting Fantasy. I don't know whether you've played Fighting Fantasy. This is what you take around with you. It's kind of like your information booklet that you can work in. And you then encounter, and it will affect maybe what you may lose some of your stuff. But as well as that, you can also encounter abandoned cargo just floating in space. You can encounter an asteroid which you can mine and find certain minerals. Let's just say we encountered an asteroid. We'd roll on the table, roll on this one again. What do we got? Let's do that again. A 2 and a 1. 5 water. So we found an asteroid, we mined it, and we got 5 water from that particular thing. Why not? Let's write that in, okay, as an example. So we did some mining, we got 5 water here. And that goes into your cargo hold. You put it in, done some mining, very handy. You see the blips can be positive as well as negative. You can find derelict ship and have an encounter that way. You can find space pirates, space trader, where you can buy some bits and pieces. But once you've made it to the planet on the blip here, okay, you then move to the planet guide. I'm not discouraging it, just something I need to get over. Oh well, you know, when you are releasing this, Toby, it looks quite feature complete. Well, as I say, it's something I've sort of been working on for a couple of months. It's just like something I just sort of just chip away at in the background, yes, it is quite feature complete. It's got it's got a solid foundation. It's the only way I can operate. You know, I need to have that solid foundation. It's then maybe it's the stuff that goes in around it that there's the other people kind of maybe make pointers, or add comments, or just test what I've got, basically. Otherwise, if I've kind of released something that had no structure, I'd be asking people to make the game for me in a sense, rather than add stuff to it. I think that's kind of where I'm at with it. Did you ever play Zork or other text adventures? I'm not sure if it was the comments. For some reason, this makes me think of making decisions like in those games. Well, it's you know, I did play the text games. I also played things like Fighting Fantasy, as I mentioned upstream. Hopefully, this will be ready to be released for free, Javier, in a couple of weeks, basically, if not before then. So yes, it is pretty complete. I need to go through it again with a fine-tooth comb. And I need people to read it for me, just to see whether they see any errors or that sort of thing. Thanks for that. This reminds me a lot of 6x6 Tales as well. I don't know that game, so I take your word for it. The planet guide will take you. It's all largely based on me trying to physically envisage Elite Frontier, the computer game from the Amiga. The planet guide will take you through how to fill in the planet sheet and will be associated with the new planet you are visiting. So, planet sheets are this size. You can fold them up and put them into a book. They are a whole page. So we'll have that underneath here. And as you approach your planet, it's not long before authorities contact you. They send you through tax and illegal good details. I'm going to put illegal goods details there, maybe. On the tables, tables 1 to pages 1 to 4, and then proceed. Roll on. Okay, here we go. So we need to fill in the details because we are going to Caxians, tech level, standard, geography, terrestrial, stable, instability level is 2. Alright, that's transferred across from the planet index, and we're approaching. So we're in our ship. Every planet has a tax. roll on the number chart on page on. We have a general number chart. Actually, let's just take that out. As I say, there might be a few little corrections as we go. Taxes applied to any goods you sell on the market. So if the planet has a tax of 2%, you lose 2% of the final total of the sales at the port. Tax is affected by technology level of the planet. So if we were selling stuff, we would pay a tax on that. So the basic tax for this planet is, because it's a standard, we have to roll on this one here. It's 113, so it's so the planet has a tax of 2, so it's minus 0%. That's not right. Okay, so the minimum you can be is 1, so it's 1% tax, which we're good with. It can go up much higher, so godlike can go up to these percentages here. And once you've established what these taxes are for the planet, they stay that way. That is from then on, this is this planet's tax. Now, tax can be affected by events that happen later on as you move forward, but that is your base level. Right, we need to establish legal goods for the planet. So there are some trade goods that are legal in the system. Once you've established what they are, they never change. First, establish a number of them, and then what they are. Write them in the planet sheet, which we will do. Tax is leaking into our solo games now, exactly. You can't sell anything without tax. Right, so number of illegal goods. Let's have a look at this. We've got 9 and 5, which is 3, so it's 2 illegal goods. And what illegal goods are they? 6 and 8, 4, 1, toxic waste, and 7 and 2, narcotics, which kind of fix it. This world is so kind of stereotypical. Okay, fine. Yeah. Well, Todd, you know, there are some truths. There are some truths to that. So, customs port official on the planet. Okay, so we've got the customs port official here. On the planet sheet, you will see the section for the customs port official. Here you fill out their name, trait, and corruption level by following the instructions below. Roll on the official's name table, page 8. You can roll it once, twice, or 3 times for the first and second name. You can kind of decide or pick a name yourself. Trait, generate a trait, generate a number on the number chart on page 6, D8, reference the trait table on page 9, and corruption level, establish the corruption level. It's D8, basically rolled, or D4. It's basically a D4. Okay, so let's find out what this guy's name is. And we've got 10, 16, FU, 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 7117, Foven, 858, thirteen 8 or 813, Foven all. Could you use a smaller dice to change the nature of things in a table, such as D6 table that has restricting items to lowercase for a period of time? This generation system needs a lot of testing. These names here that I've come up with for this, in my mind, don't work as effectively as I want them to. It's like, it's a tough one. It's kind of, I've laid it out there to sort of to be fun, but Fuvon Yol, that may well be an alien name. Who knows what sounds they make? But for me at the moment, the name generation system isn't as I would like it to be. It could do with some other work. And incidentally, at this point, if anybody wants to give me any feedback or comments as I play through, my email address is at the top. Vic, hope you have a nice dinner, my friend. I'm sure you will. Is it going to be a roast dinner or a curry or something? What are you having? I'll probably roll maybe 4 components for each name and then arrange the best. That's quite a good idea, actually. I'll make a little note. Arrange is a good word. I like that. Like on the goods table, a D4 times D4 table exists within the larger table. You just be limited to what's available when you roll. Yeah, chicken dish. Nice. Very nice. Right, so trait table. Just a D8 for this one. 7. Helpful. All right. This official invites you to an additional evening event. Gain 1 reputation point. All right, so we will have an event with them later, but we will write it in now. And you can see here, we'll put 1 reputation point. This is where you start to get some points in the game. Once you get out of the ship, you're with people, and you can start to maybe get some bartering and some reputation points. So that's quite a good one to have. Winner, winner, chicken dinner, indeed. This is a permanent trait for the official. Each time you come to the planet, the trait has the same effect. When you run the trait table for a godlike planet, half the total and round it up. Okay, so there's godlike technology. Going through customs. Now you've met the customs official, you have to go through customs where you check your hold. Roll on the number chart on page 6 or D8 for the customs check table. Subtract the official's corruption level from the roll. There are 2 ways you can influence the customs check, though. You can give the official a gift. For every 100 credits, you gain +1 to the roll, or particular technology equipment installed on your ship can modify the roll. If you cannot pay, you are indebted and must pay from the trade goods sales on the planet. If you have illegal goods, also roll on the illegal goods table, otherwise proceed to the market. There are different tables for each tech level, each with a different set of results accordingly. Look at the tech level of the planet you are encountering and roll on the appropriate table. At times you might be asked to establish a random table. Trade good. Simply assign a number or numbers to your trade goods and roll on the number chart. Okay, customs check for basic tech level. Now we are on a standard tech level planet. We're not going to spend any credits to influence this particular roll. So it's going to be random. But we have to subtract the official's corruption level from the total. And we haven't established the official's corruption level yet. Let's do that. So we need to roll a D4. 6 is 3. Right, okay, so 3. That is not good. So that is pretty high. Let's get Fu von Yeovil, exactly, 4th son of Baron Yeovil. Now A commoner, due to being too far down the line of inheritance, sends folks to dinner joints from whom he gets a kickback. Indeed, and you would hope so. That's what I was thinking. You must have tables to accomplish what I was thinking. Should have known. Derp. No, you're fine. You're fine, Ike. Okay. So, we're going to roll on here. It's not good. Oh, I've got no money. 3. So, -3. After the team have been into your hold, of course, after the team have been in your hold, 30% of one basic trade good has disappeared. You complain, but the official denies all knowledge of the goods. Okay, now, as it happens, we do have, in our ship, we have some water. We have 5 water that we found with them when we did some mining. So we will subtract 30%. 30% of 5. Well, let's just say 4. Down by 1. So we've got 4 water now. Now that would be obviously very detrimental if you had a lot of one particular basic trade good. So it would definitely be in your interest before you roll, if you knew you had a high level of corruption with your port official, to pay some credits to countermand that corruption level, which is 3. Look at this guy here. Let's have a face in here. He's going to look very suspicious. This guy. Going to give him some kind of official hat here. He's got these kind of tubules that come out of the back of his head, like so. He's quite thin. He's got one eye in the middle of his forehead here, and there's kind of these breathing holes further down his face, like this, and this plating that goes down the front of his body, and he wears these ceremonial official cloth straps that go over his body like that. There he is. Goods modifier notes. Well, we'll come to that in a sec. Okay, so we've gone through customs. We've got no illegal goods. Okay. Okay, Nick. I'll see you later, mate. With this game, it's standard practice to round up or round down. Round up. Okay. I do put that later on, but you're right. I need to put that earlier. So I will put that in here. Actually, round up. Put it in the first book. Okay. So, that's all your checks here. If you have illegal goods, we don't have any illegal goods. Okay. So, there are no need to roll on that table. All right. So we now have to establish the trade goods. So we've got a list of goods here. This is your standard list. Alcohol, basic weapons, construction materials, fertilizer, fruit and veg, grains, hides and leathers, livestock, material, meat, minerals, precious stones, water, computers, farm machines, fuel, gases, luxury products, machine parts, medical supplies, metal alloys, military weapons, narcotics, polymer, synthetic meat, toxic waste. Some are basic, some are advanced. Okay. And every planet, you have to establish the state of the market. So it can either be stable, uncertain, positive, crashed, or booming. Now, when you establish the nature, the state of the market, that reflects on the price, the base price of the trade goods. Okay. Ike, thank you, my friend. I will see you soon. So the price will be referenced in this section later when we look at the price of the goods. Okay. So we're going to roll for the state of the market. So we've got a 4 and a 12. So we've got 6, which is 3, and a 5, 5, 3, positive. So the market is positive. Okay, now that stays at the moment. The state of the market stays the same permanently. We now need to look at the factors that could. Would it be possible to have the list of resources goods on the ship cargo page as well, so we can just put quality numbers next to the resources instead of writing the names all the time? So to have the list of resources goods on the ship cargo page as well, so we can put the quantity numbers next to the resources instead of writing the names. Oh, I see. Yes, yes. That is a good point. Okay, that is a good, excellent idea. That is a good idea. Thank you, Scott. I'll write that down here. I'll definitely have a look at that. Yes, see how much space that takes up in the cargo hold sheet. Right, so that's all very well. Your market it's positive. That's brilliant. So the prices are going to be slightly higher. I mean, that could be good for some things, not necessarily good for buying. It's better for selling, isn't it? So, but we know now that on Caxo, the market is positive, and you'll see what effect that has in a minute. Now, at the bottom here, we have the goods modifier notes. Now, we're going to go through a series of pages here that are going to affect some types of trade goods. And you can see already that this game is about numbers. It's about putting these numbers in and then working out your profit. So it is a bit crunchy. I always knew it was going to be, and I didn't know whether that was going to work. But this is very much, it's like a trial. It's like the first time that this sort of game, I haven't seen a game like this, and I thought I'd give it a go and see exactly what happens. So fingers crossed. You never know how a game's going to be until it's properly tested. So we just have to see. It can exist up here, but whether it properly works, we'll see. So this world is, so the weather is stable. So you can see here, you look at the environmental factors, there's no change on the weather here. No change. So we don't add any notes down here to the goods modifier notes. Now, the planet is terrestrial. So all F-type, which is food, and you'll see on the grid on the table here that each has their own little type. So here, each food has an F next to it, and a constructed materials has a manufactured construction materials, and there's a little key down the bottom here. Can you list the goods in order of tech, so one could ignore the high tech items and use this for D&D ports and use this for D&D. Eric, I'm sure that we could put them. I'm sure that there will be a way of having another list somewhere. At the moment, they're listed alphabetically in their basic trade goods and advanced goods, so they're accessible that way. I mean, yeah. I mean, we can definitely. I hadn't even thought about that sort of D&D port type situation. I'm just trying to get the game kind of to a point where it can be tested. But we have. So I'm going to note in my modifiers down here, because it's terrestrial, all F types. Okay, so I make a little note here. are minus 10% on their value. Okay, so that goes in down here. Right, so the port official corruption. The port official has a say in the value of the goods of the market and take their illegal share of the profits. It is something the traders have to pass on as a cost to you. Roll on the type of trade good table below. Once established, subtract the corruption level times 10. So the corruption level for our official is 3. So the good is going to be plus 30%. Oh, sorry, yeah. Sorry, Scott. Good call. So we're going to figure out what the trade good is. 8.2. So its manufactured items are plus 30%. Okay. Manufactured at plus 30%. Okay, now that's a big deal, and you'll see. Right, there's also an event that happens on the planet. So the planet instability level, which is 2, indicates how many events have taken place in recent times on the planet that will affect the price of some trade goods. Every time you visit a planet, you will need to roll again on the events table, generate a number on the number chart 8, or roll a d8. If you roll a duplicate on this trip to the planet, roll again. The result of these events is permanent and cumulative, however you say the word. Make a note of the percentage modifier in the goods modifier notes section of the table, and we'll apply after. So we're on a standard technology planet. We're going to have a look here. What events have taken place? 7. A company has developed a way of processing toxic waste more efficiently, more safely, with minor benefits. Toxic waste is plus 20%. Now, that is interesting because toxic waste is an illegal good. Now, if you wanted to get rid of your toxic waste and you wanted to come to this planet, it's risky because it's an illegal good. You can't, if you carry it, is illegal. And then for the second one, 6, motor taxes have increased, causing prices to rise. Fuel and machine parts are plus 10%. So fuel plus 10% and machine parts plus 10%. My writing's a little bit squiffy because I have to lean over here with the camera. Right. So we have established all of the modifiers for these products. So what we do now is we have a couple of things to bear in mind. Okay, and as I was saying, it is a bit crunchy. We have the modifiers down here, and we have the list of trade goods here. Okay, we have the base value, which is positive. This is the standard technology table. It's a positive. It's a list here that goes all the way down. Now, we've got to write this in. I'm going to write this in. It's the question is this too much? Because we're testing it, and we have to make sure every now and again we're doing the right ones. No, we're not. This is exactly my point. This is the interesting thing. This is what happens when you play test. We've got to make sure we line them up. Obviously, doing it on camera is a little more fiddly. Positive 44, 88, 13, 9, 8, 7, 18. Just check that's hides and leathers at 18, yeah. 33, 6, 24, 28, 66, 14, 275, 61, 28, 30, 66, 83. See, it's a numbers game. 24, 198, 165, 50, 25, and 5. Okay. They're the basic prices for the goods on this planet. What we need to do now is go to our food types. So all food types are -1%. So again, we look at our table here. Yeah, you could do, but you are going to be coming back. So you need to know the other price. You could come back. So knowing the value of all the products is going to be in your advantage. So it's just one of these things. It's the sort of thing you'd have to get into the swing of doing. So you'd have a number of planets and you could see the price of stuff and you would come back and buy. And that's kind of where we're at with it. So all food, looking at our notes table down here. So all food types are -10%. So you've got to go in there. Oh, not alcohol. It's synthetic. Right. So it starts with fertilizer, -10%, and it goes down to livestock. And then we've got meat. And then water. Right, that's that. So that's that one done. So we can cross that one out. Toxic is +20% down the bottom here. Hey Mark, how you doing? Fuel is +10%. And machine parts are +10%. Now, all manufactured are +30%. So that's machine parts. That is luxury products. That is farm machines. That is material. And construction materials up here. I guess once you've done it for the planet, it doesn't need to do it again. Exactly. Exactly. Although, actually, every time you come on, there's an event that can affect it, which can affect the price. So it does change it. Most of it is done. I'm back. We'll watch. Okay, cool. Thanks, Nick. So we now know the percentages. We've done the toxic, the fuel, the machine parts, and then the manufactured, which is the MA type. And you can see here, if you look, you can see that there's the type here down the right hand side, and they're grouped into different types. Listed alphabetically on this side and here. And then you have the 5 states the market can be in. So your standard price, positive, boom, unstable, crashed. Okay, so the prices go up and down. So you're looking for an opportunity, if you like, to make money on these items. So I'm going to put the final price in 44.88. So this is plus 30 construction materials. So I'm gonna round up. So 10% of 13 is 1.3. So if we say 3, 4, so 17 minus. I'm just going to go down one with these, so that we don't go into decimals. We're just rounding down basically. I'm going to take these down by roughly the percent. Okay, it's a kind of like a rough figure. So 0.6, 12, 2, let's go 8 on that one. Minus 10% on this one, 22 say, 28, 66. And we're doing it kind of just rough, kind of quickly going through. It doesn't have to be, like 100% accurate. It just has to be roughly, and it's only going to be a matter of like 1 unit if you're out. So we're going to go down to 12 for that one. So these larger numbers, computers, say, are really expensive on this planet. So because they've got the plus 30% here. So we're going to go, so that is 30, that's 20, 30. If we go 90, 365, something like that. And then we've got 6, 6, 12, 18, 79, 30, 30, 6, 7, 14, 21, 87. So this one here, particularly machine parts, plus 40%. That's particularly high. 8, 16, 17, 34, 117. That is really high for machine parts. You might want to like star the ones you think are particularly expensive. Oh, you're right. Thank you. Good call. Good spot. Medical supplies, these all stay the same based upon the base value, which is positive. 98165, 50, 25 plus 20% on here. So we just say 6. So you can get a bit more for your toxic here. Right. So we've got a list of goods here. We've got an opportunity now. Have to be honest, a spreadsheet or something similar would do wonders for this step. Do you mean what in what capacity? Online? Yeah, of course. Yeah, spreadsheet online would obviously be much more kind of ideal if you could automatically do it. Yeah, but it's on paper. Yeah, of course. I mean, there's going to be a way of making that quicker digitally, but by the time you've typed it all in, we're virtually there, aren't we? I mean, it's not too problematic. Right, so clearly we've got a couple here which are really expensive for the market. We've got so if I'm looking at, I've got I have got some water. So if we go to my cargo, I've got water in here. So I've got a 4 water. Now, the water here is minus 10%, but the market is booming. 12 for water, I don't think it's too bad. So what I will do is I'm going to sell the 4 water that we got from the asteroid. I'm going to sell that for 12. So 12 each. So 24.48, which gives me 248 credits. Okay. Got that there. 248 credits on the side here. So I've sold my water. So I delete that. And I need to go to a planet where the cost of food, if I'm going to say trading food, is going to be higher. Now, planets like deserts, the food is much more expensive. So, as it happens, we did generate a planet. So, Astrosians, and they have extreme temperature. They have, which actually the water probably would have been a good thing. I probably should have kept the water. Everybody's a calculator on the phone. Exactly. Not a buyer's market on this planet. I tend to agree, but I can see an opportunity just through this planet that we've even though the market is booming, we still lost a percentage on the food on this particular food. And if we bought, say, a technology, some medical supplies, and we went to a more advanced world, the chances are they're going to be more expensive. So it does depend on what planets we're going to be heading to. But I think on this occasion, what we'll do is we'll buy some fruit and veg, and we'll fill our cargo with fruit and veg, and have a look at what we can do with that. We will use a calculator for this bit, and 248 divided by 7 equals 35. So we're going to buy 35 fruit and veg. I've just written that into my cargo hold there, like so. And that means we're going to reduce down our... Gone are the days of mental math. This is so nostalgic. I think the first space trading game I played was Universe 2 by... in 1986. Heroic Logic. I'm trying to get that nostalgic vibe. We're kind of playing around with it, seeing how it works, seeing what the system, seeing what we can do with this. It is a bit of a... It's a solo game. You wouldn't play this with someone else. The fact that I'm showing you this, it is a little bit ploddy in that respect, but you have to be in the game itself, making your maths, figuring stuff out. And yeah, so we've filled our cargo hold with 35 fruit and veg, and we've got no credits left. We're going to go to another world where fruit and veg is going to be more expensive, and we're going to sell it there. So for example, this desert world here, we can go into that location and try it out. So right, so good. So we've done that bit there. So that's basically establishing this planet with its setup, with the benefits that it has. So that is what it has, apart from one thing here, investments. Okay, we're going to have a look at that in a sec. Firstly though, go to the shipyard. Now obviously at this point I don't have any money, but the shipyard here, you can see that we have a range of different items. Now we've already got a flume cell, which you meant to cross off actually with me. So if you buy back the water, do you get the same amount as you sold for? Yes, you do. Yeah. I thought about buyback and buying and selling and the values and the changes. It's just that I wanted to keep it simple, so I've kind of left it that way. So we'll just to see whether that works. As simple as it can be. Flume cells, mining drills, hold cameras, additional hull plating, hidden hold, penetrating scanner, improved gyros, reinforced hull plating, stone sifting attachment, advanced scanners, iron thrusters, advanced mining scanner, energy shield, phasing cargo, and you can buy fuel here as well. Yeah, I mean that may be the case. Kind of a buyback. That is a good idea. I do that for the ships, but I just haven't worked that into that. I will just make a little note of that. That's a good point. Okay, so thank you, Scott. We have these things. Now, there's a price, the credits, there's a type. The type's important because the type depends on where you place it in your ship. So on, say, the tick F6A, you've got handling, you've got shielding, you've got security. Okay, so the item that you buy, say if you had bought you were at a basic planet or a standard planet, and you bought a reinforced hull, shielding, it would have to go in that section. You can have one update, one upgrade in each section, and that has an effect. Where is it? Reinforced hull plating plus 2 shielding goes onto the shielding score here, and that protects you against pirates, which you can encounter when you're flying to the planet, which was an easy affair for us on this first trip. But other occasions it's going to be more tricky because you're going to encounter the blips and not the blimps. I love Elite. Arc, excellent. Definitely will order when you start selling. Any rare upgrades? Special table roll to see if the planet has something unique. Well, that is a good question. There isn't, strictly speaking, a unique table, but it's a good idea. At this stage, I was just trying to keep it as kind of basic as possible. We haven't finished with the planet yet in selling. But, yeah, it's a good idea, Mark. I'll make a little note here. Unique table. Problem is, because the space and the uniqueness is going to be limited, because if you roll lots of planets and you encounter lots of planets, the unique thing is probably going to be rolled again on other planets. So it's a difficult one. It may be some way of generating something. Any case, you can buy stuff to upgrade your ship here and help avoid things, help when you encounters in space, blah de blah. So that is there. Right, we've got the next stage is there's a variety of people who socialise in the entertainment district as you explore the bars and retail outlets. So you've sold your goods, you come out of the ship, you're wandering around, and you're going, right, I've got some time, we'll go to the entertainment district. Why the hell not? Okay, now this is where you can pick up points as the captain of your freighter. So we're going to do this. We're going to go to see the people encounter table. It's just a D8, and we roll, and 6. There is a disturbance in one of the discotheques. You watch and realise someone's running a scam on an unsuspecting trader. You call it out, and the scammers scatter. The trader thanks you. That shouldn't be a capital, that should just be a T. Thanks you, and you chat about past experiences all night. Gain 2 barter points. go back to our captain's log in here, and we put 2 barter points on here. Now, barter points can be used to affect certain trades in the game when you're buying stuff, for example. So that's your experience of the night. So it kind of expands it out. And before you go, there's one final thing you can do. It's a little bit... it's another dimension. I don't know whether the game needs it, but I thought it might be quite nice. Are there plans for further development with 2d6 rules, or are they final? Oh, no, they're final now. Okay, they are... they have... they've been set, if you like. There will be additions to it, stuff that's added to it, and they will be part of the expansion. So at the moment it's going pretty well. So we're pretty. I'm pleased with it. For what it's meant to achieve. It's like the narrative game, really. It's more of a narrative game, kind of a good field type game. So maybe limit how many unique things. It's true, Vic. That is a good point. I could do that. So we've got investment opportunities. There are a number of investment opportunities which can be chosen from below. Once the price has been generated, there are 3 different types: property, land, and business. Each type has a base investment value which can be seen below that might have a different modifier depending on the market stability. Right, so you can invest in land, property, or business. There's a little section here. So it's kind of like getting part of buying a plot of land, seeing a business that you think is good, and you kind of like, I'll back this one for some return. And the point is, you get a percentage return whenever you come back to the planet. Okay, so for example, you purchase 3 units of land on a standard tech. So we're actually on a standard tech. So the tech level unit, okay, standard is land. It's 120 per land. Okay. Now this, if you buy 3 of those, it equals 360. But because we are on a positive, it's a plus 10 to the value. Okay, so this should be 10%. These are percentage here, plus 10%, and then you get a total that you have to pay for that credit. Okay, when you return to that planet, you get a percentage. So the return of standard land plot is 27% plus 4% because we're on a positive market. So that'll be 31% every time you visit that planet. So you would get that much back. And you can take, as long as you can afford to buy it, you can buy investments in land, property, business, and write them in your investments chart here. Okay, that gives you a way of making extra money and an incentive to come back to the same planet. So you would write it in as an example here. I'm just going to write this in. So land times 3 equals 342 at 24% return, for example. And you write that in there, and when you come back to this land, you get, say, 86 credits once you leave, once you've gone and checked your investments. And that is just an extra way of doing a bit of money management. It's kind of like an extra layer of money management or investment that you can put into the game. This was something that I was thinking, how can I provide something more for successful traders to spend their money on? So very much a a way of increasing your profit and looking to buy some of the larger, more expensive ships, which will come around. And then once you get money, you want to be buying lots of goods and, being in a position where you can afford the best ships and turn the best profit. And once you've done that, you've had a look at that, you leave the planet and you can scan for five more planets to put into your book here if you want to, or you can just scan a couple, it's up to you. And that goes into your planet, your trade planets index. And you've got your ship here, which you've got your cold capacity, which I'll probably reduce these down a little bit so you can't carry as much as we try and balance, as I balance the game a bit more. And then you'll have your list of planets that you've actually entered, you've encountered, and that is basically the game. So I would leave this planet now, and I would head over to as Wotus, as Watsy, or whatever you want to call it, and I'll probably adjust this name a little bit before I did. And the desert's a desert world where obviously there's going to be water's going to be more expensive, or fruit and veg are going to be more expensive, and I'll sell that and make a profit, and then have a think about what they sell and try and find another planet. And the thing is, right, these planets, although they may be desert, they may have some other thing affecting the price. It might bring the price back up, so I don't make as much as I thought on that fruit and veg. So there are different ways of adjusting and affecting that. So there you go. That is the first planet. I won't do another planet now, but that gives you a kind of a feel for what this game is about, hopefully. Now, yes, it is a bit number grindy. It is about filling out data and crunching it and analysing it. But to be honest, that's really what that's what those trade games are about to a certain extent. And hopefully that we can play this and it will itch that scratch that itch. That's what you call it, or itch to scratch. One of those. Yeah. So this looks different, interesting. Would like further videos on encounters and mining, etc. Yeah. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Brian. It's one of these things. It's a system. It's basically, I wanted to create a system. It does have encounters and stuff. Yeah. It's a system that just go round and round and round, generating experiences. And I want to see whether that works. It's a very sort of different, it's less text, which you could say is potentially the strength of a lot of the games I do. And there is text, there's encounters, but it's more about a kind of balancing and kind of trying to get the best profit and sales. Now, actually, I was going to put in the back of the ship guide a log section where you can record all your trades, which I will add in. So that will go at the back, and that will be how much you've sold it for, where you sold it, and you can then see each transaction, if you like receipts almost. Just came, it looks very interesting. We'll have to watch later. Thanks, James. Next vid, do a run from this point to the new one, please. I think I will. Any chance of adding crew? That is a good question. That is a very good question. I thought about hiring specialists in the crew. I can't see too much what the crew would do. I can see that would add narrative and potential, storylines. They may help with dealing with pirates, I guess. But because you're running a freighter, it's not really about fighting. Liking this. Once again, it's something different to try. Nice idea, Toby. Being a nerd, I can see my developing Excel macro spreadsheets for calculate. Exactly. Maybe crew upgrades for larger ships. Yes. Gunner for pirates. Yes. Some good points there. Yeah. I definitely think that having a bigger ship is going to throw out those other sorts of questions. Give bonuses to item types. I don't know what you mean, James. I would say use this along with an RPG if you want to add narrative, and this gives you the crunch. Engineers give scanning bonuses. That's good. That's a good idea, Steve. I like that idea. Vic, yeah, exactly. It is just a crunchy system that you're kind of meant to sort of just sit down, play 20 minutes, and then just leave it and go back. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like, I'm going to go in, I tell you what, I'm going to fly to the next planet, find out what they're selling, sell some goods, make a sale, keep some goods, and then I'm going to fly on to another planet, maybe generate a couple of planets, and then you're kind of done. And that's part of the game. And then your character, he gets richer and richer, he gets more points, more stats points, opens up more worlds, and it's kind of like, I had originally thought these sheets, right? These sheets have a will be shared, so you could upload them somewhere, right? And other people could visit these planets. Of course, the investments thing there would be in the way, but everything else, you could go there. I'm going to go to, like, Steve's going to fly to Caxo and sell some goods, and you get a copy of that and just print it out. But that was, I just thought that would be problematic. Prices, discounts when buying or bonuses when selling. Yeah, I guess. Well, I mean, they've got their modifiers here on this section. Maybe each ship manual has different upgrade. Yes, it will. So basically, when you get a different ship, you get a different picture, you get different upgrade sections. It may be 4 sections for a bigger ship. New stats. These ship manuals, you get the first one with the free game. And then there's going to be like a whole bunch more that you can then upgrade, and they'll be slightly bigger. Some will have more special properties, and then these will go on separately onto itch.io, and you can download those, and they can be part of your game. So I'm going to get this to a state where I feel like I can put it out there on itch.io as a free game, and people can play it, and we'll get feedback. And it'll be a different way of doing it rather than the Facebook page or the Kickstarter. I just want to try and see what happens when we kind of enter that itch.io world and see what it will do with a game like this. Maybe it should, exactly. There'll be people hopefully be invested in the game or intrigued by it, kind of, and they will be interested in getting hold of some other ships. Repair bots speed up ship damage repairs. That's a good one. I like that as well, Steve. That's a good point. So would you have permanent books and have PDFs to fill in ship and other logs you have, or a print option for all books to play and fill in? Yeah. So that is a really good question, Vic. So these are they are print and play PDFs. There's going to be this these smaller manual type files that you can print out, but there's also going to be a larger letter size format with like maybe 4 pages on each side, but constructed so that it works better. So thanks, Nick. And you will I can't, sorry Cody, I missed your comment now. I'll read that. And you print them out, but maybe at a later stage I will try and make these make a print copy, or maybe later on I will print some, or there will be a Kickstarter or some sort of funding scheme where we get a chance to buy these as actual books. But each manual, you write in the manuals. You don't. The planet guide is just a planet guide. It covers all the planets. You write in the Trade Planets Index. So the planet guide is separate. It covers all the planets. Let me just. I am just doing a couple of things here. Okay, just a couple of things there. Right, so what else have we got here? Yes, so would you have So Cody, woke up late, bummed I missed most of the stream. We'll watch back later. I was interested in this game as well. I've designed a ship gaming 2 just sitting on art, so it's cool to see more. Cool. Interesting, Cody. So we've got repair bots, more blips added to continue as you continue to increase the danger. Yes, definitely. So when you're doing this one, because this is for this ship, there are less blips. It's a small ship, but when you've got a bigger ship, the chances are there will be more blips that you have to encounter. So although that was a pretty easy route to the planet, ordinarily we want to try and encounter more. And it's a question of whether I increase the options on the derelict ship, the space pirate to space trader, and that type of thing, and have more options there. And we'll see. It's game's more about the crunching of the numbers. So that's just where it is. And this is kind of like, as I was saying, it's kind of my first attempt at creating an elite type game. I certainly haven't seen anything that tries to do something like this, and maybe there's a reason for that. Protocol crew for dealing with customers. That's cool. Red shirts for combat, defense versus boarding actions. Yeah. Link to our new Discord, as Nick has pointed out there, guys. If you don't know, we have a new Discord. And there is a link there. Thanks to Todd, who set that up. Nick's one of the admins on there as well. Yeah, we've just started it, Johnny. Well, I guess with Discord, I don't spend a lot of time with Discord personally, and I kind of like would I be able to give it justice? Would I be able to spend the time on there, people asking questions? But as it turns out, Todd and Nick and some other people will be there looking after it for me. I'll try and get in and put stuff in there. But I think that I don't get the time to kind of put a lot of time to really to kind of like. I'd feel guilty for not spending too much time on it, but the lads here are in a position where they're gonna help me out with that one, which I really appreciate. I know that lots of people like Discord, so it's good to have one for the 2D6 community, and it's gonna be great. I'm gonna jump in there and check it out. It's just one of those things. It doesn't register with me to do, so I've got to try and get it into my list of things like Facebook, Kickstarter, Drive Through RPG, those sorts of things that I need to check. So I need to do that. How many ships will there be on release? So there will be the free game with the one ship, the Tick F6A. And then there's going to be, I think, probably 5 more ships available to purchase. So as I say, this is free. You can play it and see what it's like, see whether you like it. And then there will be additional ships added. But I suspect it's probably going to be a couple of weeks. As you can see, even when I'm demoing it, and it's hard to demo a game like this because it's crunchy, but you can see where it's going, how the database would build, how you would end up kind of managing and kind of getting to a planet realizing you haven't made the right decision. Are you going to sell anything? Or you might buy some technology instead if you've got some cash. You might find if you go to a planet where you don't necessarily want to buy stuff or sell stuff, but actually the technology there is such that you could get stuff for your ship. Who knows? So that's kind of where we're at. Is this a link for... no, there isn't a link for the test books yet. They will be... there will be... See, the thing is, right, I can't ask people to do too much testing on this game. And the reason is we have 2D6 Realm coming. This is just like, and this is more just like a little personal interest that has produced a game, a product that I want to share. And that's not to say I haven't put a lot of work into it. And I want it to be right. I want it to work and be productive and kind of this have a cyclical nature to it, where you play it and you generate and we can see where it takes. It's like it's a cool mini space project. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. And so I can't ask people to get too bogged down because I'm going to be asking people to be looking at 2D6 Realms soon. And I don't want to feel like I'm kind of abusing the friendship that I have with the people who are testing my games by saying, do this one, do that one, do this one. I just want to be in a position where when we get to 2D6 Realm, we're set up nicely so people have had a break from testing my games, and it's going to be let's have a look at 2D6 Realm and see how we can generate some kingdoms or some realms, as the case may be. So I'm going to polish it up. I've got 1 or 2 people that are going to read it for me, hopefully, and I will then absolutely, Steve. I'm not. Radzone RPG is still there. It is still there. I do think about it, so don't you worry. Thank you, Vic, for joining the Hall of Adventurers on the channel. I appreciate that. That is very kind of you, my friend. That's one of those. I set this up a while back because my account got upgraded. Is that for Scott? Are you saying this particular Intergalactic Space Trader, is that what you mean? Or are you talking about 2D6 Realm? Yes, Steve. Yes, space. Okay. Cool. So that's good. I'm glad you are, my friend. It is an exciting little thing for me. I'm just going to keep this going. It's going to be something I chip away at. Excellent, Mark. Good stuff. Yes. So I was just saying the YouTube channel reached 1,000 subscribers. Thank you everybody who had done that. That was a couple of weeks back now. And you can now pay to be in the Hall of Adventurers for the channel. It's just something that's there, and it's not necessary. But thank you, Vic, for becoming that. It adds to the coffers. Yes, Daniel. Good night. I'm going to bed in a sec. You can probably see I am wilting a little bit here. Radzone RPG. Oh yes. Radzone RPG is definitely it's in development. Put it that way. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Vic. I appreciate that. I do. Yeah. So, guys, there it is. It's a fairly difficult one to demo online, but I think it went okay. I was a little bit nervous, I'll be honest with you, because playing through something like this that has taken time to form, it is like releasing a child into the world almost. Here, have a look at this. James says looking for more IST. Thank you. Yeah, we'll go to the next planet next week. And have a little venture and see how that goes. And we never know, there might be more formed, and then it will be released. And in fact, when it goes on to itch.io, there'll be a comment with it saying that the files, this is version 1, but we can have updates to that file, so things may change depending on what feedback I get. So that's there. Brilliant. Mark, good point. That is too many great games these days. It's true, Scott. There's lots of good games around, aren't there? I just actually played a little game called Cheese Factory, which is a bit different to this sort of thing, but I thought it was really good. Cheese Factory. This game here. Thought I had a good old time playing that game. And play all sorts of stuff. What was I saying? Yes. Some of the more recent late pledges haven't quite been sent out yet. But a large amount have. We've sent out over 1,100 paperback versions of 2D6. And the first wave of Foe is sent out tomorrow. We have to slightly delay because we have to order in some new packing bubble wrap, so that we double made sure that they were good. And we had to delay about 10 or 15 orders for the lair this week because we ran out, and we've got a second print coming on Monday. So, yes. Excellent stuff, guys. Brilliant. Okay, wonderful. I will be back next week with some more Intergalactic Space Trader and news on 2D6 and how that's going on the Postage front. Okay, guys. So, take care. And I will see you next week. Take care, everybody.